Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today is a really exciting special video because it's episode 1 of my new series, Worry Free Wednesday. So yeah, sat on my bed, thought I want to be comfy with my legs crossed so I can go through your questions. I'm recording this video the day after World Mental Health Day and I feel like it just feels right. Lots of conversations happening about mental health, which is great to see and absolutely necessary. But I'm going to get straight into this video because I've got so many worries from yourselves. Thank you so much firstly for sharing. I know sometimes when you've got something on your mind or you're worried about something, sometimes it is really difficult to share and to write it down. But I always find that actually getting your thoughts down, writing them on a piece of paper or like in my question box, it kind of halves that worry, because I do believe that a problem shared is a problem halved, and hopefully the advice that I gave will help you even just a little bit with the worries that you submitted. So like mentioned on my Instagram, I am by no means a qualified therapist. I absolutely do not have any qualifications in regards to counselling or therapy or psychology or anything like that. My degree's in sociology. I do have a mental health awareness course and I do have a lot of life experience. As this series progresses, you probably will get to know me a little bit better, where I draw on my experience to hopefully help you with your concerns and your worries. But everything I say, please do just take it as advice, and what I will do is I'm going to list lots and lots of links in the description box down below so that you can get any additional advice or support that you feel that you may need following this video. So yeah, if you like this video, please like, subscribe and comment, and I'm gonna just get straight into it. Just before I get into it, I am going to be answering 5 questions each week. So if I don't answer your question this week, I'm really sorry. Honestly, it is so hard for me to go through all of these concerns and not be able to answer every single one, but I got so many. So like I said, thank you so much. And if I don't answer your question, there's always next week. You can submit your question again. So let's definitely get into it now. Okay, so the first worry is I'm 18 and I'm still a virgin and worried about telling the guy I'm dating that I'm still a virgin. First of all, I want to say, please don't worry. I know it's easy for me to say, but I think this is a great test for the guy that you're dating, actually, because if he is genuine and if he really cares for you, it won't matter that you're a virgin. Why should it? Let's be honest, that is something sacred, that is sacred to you, and it's really special. You don't want to just, share that experience with just anybody. And also, I do think that if this guy really likes you, he will be willing to wait until you're comfortable, and that is the main point that I want to get across. You have to be comfortable when you decide to lose your virginity, and if you're feeling pressure or if you're feeling like this guy isn't going to accept that, then he is not the right person for you. Okay, so please don't be worried, please don't feel like there's any pressure externally. What I would love to say to everybody, every young person, is please do not judge yourself or measure yourself against other people, because everybody does different things at different rates, and what works for one person might not work for the next person, and that's absolutely so fine. But what I would do, I'm a very vocal person, I'm very honest and open, and when I'm in a relationship or when I'm dating a guy, I like to just talk about everything and just set a bit of time aside. Just say, listen, can we have a bit of a chat? I've not lost my virginity yet, I have a little bit of anxiety around this, I just needed to let you know, and see how he responds. And his response would kind of tell me whether I want to stay in that situation or not. I need to ask you, is this guy making you feel worried, or is it that you're just worried because you feel like he might treat you differently or have a different perception of you once he finds out you're a virgin? I think the best thing to do is discuss it with him, and once it's out in the open, you'll probably feel a lot more comfortable. So when that time comes, if it does come with that guy, you'll both know where you stand and you'll both be able to take it at your pace. If somebody judges you for the fact that you're a virgin, they're not the right person for you. So we'll know what we'll do with those kind of people. We'll put them in the bin. Let's put ourselves first, and let's always be comfortable with the decisions we're making. So the next question is, my in-laws are awful. They're always causing problems. How do I stop it getting to me? So this is really sad, because when you meet your partner, you want to make a good impression on their family. And for me, it is so important for the person that I'm in a relationship with to not only be somebody who's super compatible for me and somebody who gets on and is perfect for me, but also somebody who's going to really get on with my family. And I think it would be really hard if they didn't, and vice versa. I really want to know, is there a reason for your in-laws to be causing you problems? Has there been some conflict? Has your partner maybe went back and said to the in-laws negative things? Maybe if you've been arguing, let's give them a little bit of negativity and a bit of bad taste in their mouth about you. There's two approaches. I'm very much a person who likes to talk about things and get them solved and put things to bed. However, I appreciate your partner might not want you to talk to the in-laws about it, maybe add fuel to the fire. If this is the case and you feel like I really can't talk to them, as hard as that is, I would be maybe avoiding them and making sure that you focus on your relationship. The last thing you want to happen is for your in-laws to get in the way of your relationship. Don't argue with your partner about this. At the end of the day, it's your partner's parents. He or she is going to love their parents regardless. It's not nice. It must be very difficult. But at the same time, I think you've got to accept that not everybody is going to like you, which is hard because I want everybody to like me. Who doesn't want everybody to like them? But sometimes you just aren't compatible with people. If you keep retaliating to what they're doing, it's going to cause you more headache, and it's going to give them more fuel, and it's going to show them that it's getting to you, which I know it just sounds ridiculous and it sounds awful, because in-laws are essentially always older than us, and we think, you know, more time on earth, more wisdom, more experience, more maturity. But sometimes younger people have more maturity and are the bigger people. So be the bigger person. Don't give it any energy. You know who you are. You know what you bring to the table. You know that your partner is very happy with you. As much as it's really difficult, it is hard. Don't give it any energy. One thing that I have learned over the years is what people think about you is not your business. Let people have whatever perception or opinion of you that they want. They can keep that. They can enjoy that. You have control and power over you. You have power over how you react, and you have power over how you live your life day to day. And personally, I would not be giving anybody energy or time if they were giving me very bad vibes and giving me, like you say, problems. So, summary. If you feel up to it, have a conversation. If you know that they're not the kind of people to have a conversation with, draw a line in the sand and think, okay then, I can't please you. You're always trying to cause me problems. I'm just going to take myself away from the situation, have limited contact with them. You focus on yourself and do not let their negativity and problem causing ways come between you and your partner. Do not let that or the opinions of other people alter your state of mind. Always remember that other people's opinions don't matter, and you make a decision. I'm not letting this get to me anymore. Simple as stop giving it energy. Okay, next question is adjusting to meeting someone and starting a relationship after being single for years in my 20s. Now, I had quite a few of these questions in different variations, and I have first-hand experience of this. I was pretty much single from being about 20. I finished with my ex-boyfriend when I was 20. Yes, I dated guys in my 20s and had a little bit of a longer term situationship. But I was essentially single until I turned 30. So I spent the majority, if not all of my 20s, single. And I am very much the kind of person who will not settle and I won't be with somebody just to say I have a boyfriend. I spent my 20s going on holiday, enjoying life and getting to know who I was, overcoming any issues that I might have had, any anxiety, and really working on myself and going through hard times to get to better times. And I think your 20s can be like really like a real struggle at times. Like your 20s, you're just like trying to find out who you are and you're trying to get established in your career. You're doing a bit of travelling, you're trying to get your money in order, everything's a bit all over, you might still live at home, you might be trying to buy a house, everything's just a bit wacky and everything's just a bit crazy. 20s are hard, they are hard, but as you start moving into your 30s, things get a lot easier. Let me just give you that reassurance. But going back to the question, because you know I love to absolutely span off onto different tangents, I think for me, I was ready for a relationship my whole 20s, in saying that I didn't want to force it. When I was meeting people, I realised that there was past hurt and traumas and stuff that were kind of blocking the way, and that's why it's so important to do self-work and to look at what your past experiences has maybe taught you, or how have they implicated you, because the last thing you want to do is carry all trauma from past relationships where they haven't worked out, and you have carried some hurt from those into new relationships, because your ego will always get in the way and your ego will always find problems and be like, oh no, or oh you're doing this, or oh I'm a bit jealous, or oh actually I'm a bit reluctant to do that, or and that can really sabotage a relationship. And that's something that I never ever wanted to do. I've never blamed the next person I've been with for the problems or the deceit of my exes. When I met Connor and things started going really well with me and Connor, I was like, oh wow, I've now got this really amazing support network, which I didn't have. But at first it does take a little adjusting, and I can totally understand where you're coming from, where everybody's coming from, where I've had loads of questions, where people are scared to get in another relationship, or they don't know how they're going to adjust to a relationship. First of all, I do believe that the universe presents you with situations at times where it knows you're ready to kind of move forward, and the universe will present you with people and situations to either move you, or to teach you a lesson, or to make you uncomfortable, to say this isn't right. But also the universe will present you with people and situations that are perfectly aligned for you as well. So I always trust in that, and I always like to go with the flow. I am a person who overthinks quite a bit, and I think the people who've asked me this question probably are as well, because you think, oh, you know, if I've been hurt, or I've been cheated on in the past, or I've been single for like so long, how am I going to cope with it? When it's the right person, you will just cope with it. Connor's super cuddly and so am I, but at the beginning of my relationship I wasn't, because I hadn't had that affection for so long, and things just adapt very naturally. Don't be scared, really don't be scared. Don't be worried. For me, I just think, what is the worst that can happen? Okay, you can end up loving somebody and you can get your feelings hurt, but I would rather love and have lost than to have never loved at all. And I think, open your heart, allow yourself to be vulnerable, which is very scary because our ego goes flying up and it's like, oh no, I need to protect myself, I know what happened last time. You will get the deepest love in the happiest relationship when you allow yourself to be vulnerable and just go with it. And then if it doesn't work out, at least you know you tried. But don't cut something off, or don't start exploring opportunities to maybe meet somebody again just because you feel like I might get hurt, or just because you've got those reservations, or just because you think this happened last time. I am truly an advocate of enjoying life and being single and exploring who you are and learning about yourself and loving yourself so much. But there is something so special about sharing your life, all of the beauty that life has to offer, with somebody who truly loves you. So don't be scared, open your heart is my advice. And the deepest love comes from being and allowing yourself to be completely vulnerable. And when you do that, you almost set yourself free. Okay, so the next question is, my brother's in an abusive relationship and he won't accept help from the family. Now, this is really sad, and this has got to be really hard on you. Being a sibling, you want to protect your siblings so hard, and I know that it can be really, really difficult to sit back and watch a family member be in an abusive relationship, or a friend. But the classic phrase is, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink it. What I would say to you in this situation is, as a family, you need to stay really strong and use each other as a support network. Unfortunately, a lot of the time when people are in abusive relationships, they don't realise they are, or they don't want to accept they are. And that is normally because they are heavily manipulated by the person they're in a relationship with. So it doesn't matter what you say or what you try to do, it will fall on deaf ears. Even if your brother knows and is well aware, there'll be something tying him to that person he's in a relationship with. And the more toxic the relationship, from my experience, the abundance of people I've given advice on this over the years, the more toxic the relationship, the more binding that relationship becomes, because it's very push away, pull back, to and froing, very erratic, very highly strung, very emotional, very angry, very, frantic, and then very loving, and then very manipulative. And it's very much push. It's like almost toxic relationships remind me of like a tug of war. So it's like great, then horrible, then great, then horrible, then you're horrible, and you're lovely, and I hate you, and I love you. And the more you do that, the more exhausted you get, and the more manipulated and controlled a person can become. Now, this is not the case for every single abusive relationship, and I don't know whether it's physical or emotional abuse. And again, I am not an expert, I am just giving my advice. I think what you need to do, which is so hard, is be very patient for your brother and let him know that you are there for him, and it doesn't matter what decision he makes, you will support that. Because what you don't want to do is give advice and say end it when you know that he just won't listen at the minute, and then him feel very isolated from you and your family, which will give the partner more control to continue to abuse him. And that isn't what you want. You don't want him to feel isolated. So even though you're probably becoming so frustrated and so upset, let him know that you're there for him. Let him know that he can talk to you. Let him know that it doesn't matter how long, you'll still be there for him. Because what happens is, with abusive relationships, a lot of the time the abuser will isolate the victim essentially away from friends and family, so they don't have any support network. Then they have to rely on the partner who is the abuser for all emotional support. But it's very ironic, because the emotional support that person needs and wants, they can't get from somebody who is abusing them. So as much as he won't accept help and won't listen right now, there will come a point where he will open his own eyes and he will realise, what on this earth have I been accepting? And at that point, he will feel comfortable enough to come to you and your family and say, I've had enough. Don't lose hope and don't give up on your brother. He needs you, even if it's from afar. Just let him know that you're there for him. And what I'm also going to do is, I'm going to link in the description box some really amazing resources that you can access to get some very specific advice and kind of guidance in regards to this kind of situation. Because the thing is, with things like this, it doesn't just affect the person that's in this, it affects the whole family, depending on the scale of things. Of course, I can't delve into that right now with you, but depending on the scale of things, it might need to be escalated as well. But please go in the description box and use the resources that I've kind of offered for you to look at, because that is very much professional help, and this is just my advice, but sending you lots of love. Okay, so the last of the 5 questions I'm going to answer today. Me and my mum keep arguing, and every time we fall out she calls me selfish and ungrateful. Okay, so your mum is probably the closest person to you. We've all argued with our mum, and I think our mums are the people that can get under our skin the most. My mum is my absolute best friend. I love her to bits. My mum was relatively young when she had me. She was 17, and she had recently just lost her mum before she got pregnant with me. And me and my mum were best friends, but my mum was very strict with me, and she made sure that I was very disciplined. She really wanted to do right by me, and in doing that there's been a lot of arguments because she's the closest person to me and she knows how to get to me. We don't argue hardly at all now, once in a blue moon, but if we do, or if we have crosswords, yeah, we trigger each other. So what I will say is it will get easier. I don't know how old you are. Looking at your picture, you look quite young and very beautiful. So I think the older you get, the more solidified and solid and calm your relationship with your mum becomes. Your mum will always want the best for you, and she will say things that she doesn't mean when she's angry. Take it with a pinch of salt. I know that although they are the biggest aggravators and they will really annoy you, they also love you the absolute most. So I would just, when she calls you selfish and ungrateful, just take it with a pinch of salt. She's referring back to everything she's done for you as a mum, all of the years that she's loved you and looked after you and made you feel gorgeous and bought you all of your beautiful Christmas presents and made sure that you've had a roof over your head and food in your tummy. And when you argue with your mum, she thinks, oh, I think all mums probably can relate. Selfish, ungrateful, everything I've done for you, and you're just throwing it back in my face. Just take it with a pinch of salt. Honestly, your mum is your best friend. There's no one quite like your mum. So let her have her peace. Try not to argue. Try and bite your tongue. I know it's hard. It is hard, especially for me. If I've got something to say, I have to say it. And you know, like I said, your mum can really get you going. It's the same with your siblings, but your mum loves you more than anybody in the world. So when she says those things, just ignore it. And maybe when you aren't arguing and you're on good terms, you could maybe just sit down and say, you know, mum, I really, really love you, but it really, really hurts my feelings when you call me selfish and ungrateful, because I am so grateful for everything you do for me and I absolutely love you so much. I always think it's so important to not take the ones closest to you for granted, because families can be really difficult. They can be really difficult dynamics. And what I didn't say in the earlier question about in-laws is you don't get to pick your family and you don't actually get to pick your in-laws either, but sometimes we just have to get on with our families and appreciate them, because people aren't around forever, and I'm very mindful of that, and I want to make the absolute most of my family and the people who love me and I love back. So try not to waste your time arguing if you can. Maybe just have a nice honest conversation and say, you know what, mum, I love you. Can we try and work towards not arguing anymore and not calling each other ungrateful and selfish? Be kind to yourself. It's normal to have little arguments every now and again. Just remember, your mum loves you more than anyone in the world. Okay guys, so that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for all of the worries that you sent in. They were all so great. Like I said on my Insta story, worries aren't great, but they're all valid and all worries that I want to give advice on and help you with. If I didn't answer your worry, please, please, please submit it on my Instagram stories this week when I put my worry box in. I will pop it in on Thursday to collect all of your worries. I hope the worries that I did answer give you a little bit of clarity and maybe helped you make sense of things a little bit more. Please feel free to comment below if you feel comfortable, if you've got any questions, or you can message me on Instagram. if you'd like to discuss anything that was said. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you did. Give me a little cheeky thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. And you can always find me on Instagram. I'm very active on my stories, and I'm always there to chat if you do need me. So thank you so much. This is the first in the series of Worry Free Wednesdays, so I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again next week. Mwah! Lots of love.